The structure of British forces in Germany has changed a lot in the last decade, most notably with the withdrawal of the RAF in the 90s. Today, many of the former stations have been redeveloped, like RAF Laarbruch, which is now a commercial airport. Our reporter, Carla Prater, has been back to visit the site to see how things have changed and how the local community has moved on.
12 years ago, RAF Laarbruch was closing. Today it's a new airport and a new centre for business. The site has been transformed, if you believe the signs, but in reality very little hides its history. Laarbruch opened in 1953, built to protect against a communist strike in Central Europe. Over 4 decades it was home to Canberra's, Buccaneers, Tornadoes and Harrier squadrons. But after the collapse of the Warsaw Pact in 1991, RAF operations in Germany started winding down. First Gütersloh and Wildenrath were affected, then in 1999 it was Laarbruch's turn. Even before the base had closed, local officials were looking at what to do here, in need of a plan to keep the local economy going. And they decided to keep the runway open. So it wasn't long after the RAF moved out that the budget airlines moved in, creating Weeze Air Terminal. The airport handles up to 3 million passengers every year, but in order to reach the new terminal you have to pass the old station buildings. Rod Hawkins first served here in the 1970s and took me on a tour of the abandoned officers' mess.
And this is where we would quite often have functions in the summer out here, barbecues, official parades would be on the whole of this grass area here. It's rather sad now to see it in such a sad state.
Houses are overgrown, the NAFI is boarded up, but among the dereliction there are signs of reuse. 40 companies work on this site. Many homes are now being used by temporary Polish workers. The police have a training centre here and the hangars are back in use. Changing times on camp, and outside it's a similar story. Villain Janssen and his family have been running a garage in Weeze for 50 years. The majority of their customers used to come from the base.
There were businesses like going to restaurants, buying furniture, living here, marriages with German people. It was like a big family, I would say. And it's finished all at once.
400 locals at the station lost their jobs and €100 million a year was lost by the local economy. But in this rural area, the new airport brings hope.
We lost 5,000 friends who were for 45 years here on the airfield. The airport is very important for our economical recovery. So we had a bad situation, but we hope we can change it.
The local community helped fund a museum here, run by veterans like Terry Moore, and it's attracted lots of interest from people who are based in Germany.
This sort of thing should never be forgotten for the simple reason 45 years we were in Germany. That's half their life of the Air Force. You've been around camp, you get tears in your eyes when you look at married quarters and you look at Malcolm Club and the blocks and the state they're in. It's a case of they left and that was it, and it was derelict. And it's a shame really, because it was a lovely place.
The local government say further redevelopment will happen in time. For now, the old and the new lie side by side. People may be moving on, but left like this, the past is very hard to forget. And few here want to. Carla Prater, Forces News, Weeze.